See,
You're welcome.
the learned SCN is clearly right. It's a question of silence means consent. It's the simple principle of silence means consent. They send you a list and they expect some response, and within 21 days you don't respond. And what I meant by a review, maybe you want to extend the days, now that they've seen that there are certain realities that might happen in such an instance that may make it almost impossible to meet some of the deadlines, then that's when the issue of review,
You don't see them meeting the deadlines now?
Well, you see, there's so much...
because let's not forget that the initial list of, is it 18 or 19 ministers, or is it 20 now? They're almost done with that. The next list of 16 or thereabouts is what they're starting with. And I think there's only one minister left.
From the original list.
From the first list.
Yes.
And the remaining list can actually be dealt with within...
I agree with you, but it takes effect. Well. It takes effect from the day notice is given. So the date, the applicability of that law is going to be separate, in my opinion.
Exactly.
From the first set to the second set.
Exactly.
If there is one person left from the first set, I don't know how many days now, but it looks as if 21 days is fast approaching. But if that date expires and the Senate does not get back in writing, and it is not up to one or two senators or a group of senators to get back or to complain in the pages of newspapers. It is for the Senate to sit and actually deliberate on the matter and then report back to the president. Otherwise, I'm afraid,
Well, I think that eventually perhaps the Senate will take that on as one of the questions that it will answer, because some people also say that, screening is also a matter of tradition. It's not exactly prescribed by the Constitution. But, looking at the screening itself, how hampered do you think the senators were by the fact that there was no portfolios attached to...
Well, you see, the issue of portfolio is neither here nor there, quite frankly, at this stage of Nigeria's development and, and
you don't think portfolio should have been attached?
You see, ideally, you should attach portfolios. But I'll tell you what will happen. You attach portfolios to all of them. And then the Southwest will sit down and start looking at the list of military, and which one are the GC ministries and which one are not the GC ministries. And that will bring in a whole new raft of controversies. Now, if I'm a president and I'm not prepared to start going through all that, because that will only delay the process. Some people will say that the ministers that they were given are not ministries that are buoyant. And some people will say that they are giving them ministries because this is their zone. And then you will get into a fresh set of controversies that are absolutely irrelevant to performance.
So you do see a political consideration?
Of course, absolutely. Absolutely.
A political consideration for not attaching.
Absolutely.
Is it strong enough not to attach portfolios?
At the moment, it is strong enough if you consider how much time it is likely to waste and the political context that we find ourselves in Nigeria today. When ordinarily, do you know how much controversy was reigned because certain people from certain places were not yet on the nomination list? Then you bring out the list and you appoint, you show portfolios. And then people will interrogate that further. Then you start going off on different secondary tangents when decisions should have been made. And mind you, the president has the prerogative of moving somebody from one ministry to another.
So it's wisdom?
It is absolute wisdom.
Okay, well, let's attempt to get across to Senator Dino Melai. I think we got him on the phone this morning. We'll try to reach him earlier on. Morning, Senator. Are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so lots of questions on the minds of Nigerians now. Well, could you just tell us, why did the Senate adjourn sitting today for tomorrow?
Yeah, the sitting today is adjourned because... Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the sitting was adjourned yesterday when the leadership met.
To today or to tomorrow?
It was adjourned to tomorrow, 10 a.m.
Okay, but there was this information that it was supposed to be today, not tomorrow earlier.
No, the information I have, and it was given to me by the acting clerk of the Senate, is that sitting is adjourned to tomorrow 10 a.m.
What was the reason?
I cannot give any reason for now.
Well, many say that the reason is because the Senate President is going to appear before the CCT today, and so there will be many senators who want to go in solidarity, and some think, well, if that's the case, they think, but it's not the Senate that is on trial, so why would that be the case?
That is an assumption.
Don't you think it has any idea of truth?
That is an assumption, but I have not received any official communication yet.
Well, as a senator...
That couldn't have been the reason, but I have not received any communication yet.
As a senator, I mean, what then is your thinking? Because I'm sure that there are, you know, that's just one reason they've given. Some other people say that... Some other people say that the Senate did not want a situation where the Deputy Senate President is the one who presides over ministerial screening. Is that true?
This is another assumption. So when you have more than one position, then you know that's content not true.
You don't think that, you know, there should have been a reason given so that, you know, we can get rid of assumptions?
The decision to adjourn the sitting was made after plenary. And that is empowered by our rules in section 212 of the standing orders of the Senate.
And senators usually don't, the Senate usually doesn't have to give a reason?
I'm sure by today we will give an official reason.
By today?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what Mark is trying to ask is that when we talk about assumptions here, assumptions only come into focus when we don't have a reason for this adjournment, knowing full well that we have the leadership from two different parties.
Like I said, the adjournment did not come from the Senate President. He didn't announce the adjournment. The adjournment was done by the bureaucracy and that's by the acting clerk of the National Assembly until I speak directly with the acting clerk to know the reason why he puts up an announcement. I may not be able to give an official reason.
All right, Senator Malai, could you then tell us, I mean, lawyers have been talking about Section 147, wherein they say if the Senate does not get back to the President within 21 working days, the ministers who have not been screened would have been, will be deemed to be confirmed as ministers.
Very correct. But the Senate is driving within speed limit. 21 working days we are still far from there.
Okay, so just before we let you go, yesterday you were supposed to screen 3 persons. It turned out that it was 2. How many are we likely to see screened tomorrow?
We'll try and see if we can take 3 or 4 tomorrow.
Well, my colleagues did ask a question as to what exactly the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges was waiting for if they did say that a matter concerning Rotimi Amechi was in court. You didn't quite give an answer to that. At least I don't remember that answer. What exactly is the reason?
I cannot speak to a report that has not been laid on the floor of the Senate. So I'm a member of that committee. Only the Senate, only the floor and plenary can either adopt that report or amend it as the case may be. But I assure you that the report will be laid in the next legislative day.
Okay, that's about the content of the report. The question is, why has it taken so long?
Like I said, the attitude of the Senate or the character of the Senate normally is you lay the report on the day you are going to take that person. Because if you see the report on Aminam Ibrahim was laid and disclosed and decision taken, and afterwards, later that day, she was screened. So I want to assure Nigerians there's no agitation, there's no ulterior motive, that Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi, the highly respected Nigerian, his reports will be laid the next legislative day.
And recall that you had told the nation that it wasn't going to be business as usual in terms of taking a bow and go. How did it pan out yesterday for you when you saw something that was against what you had told us?
Anyway, when I told you it's only going to be business as usual, I also gave a special position that those who have been members of the National Assembly will receive preferential treatment. It's not easy to be in the National Assembly. And that was why Khadija, who is a 3-time member of the National Assembly, got that special consideration.
On a lighter side, did that come comical to you, the question asked? Was it comical to you, the questions posed to Khadija?
If my wife were to be there, I will do the same thing.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Senator Melai.
Thank you very much. God bless you.